What's up? Welcome to... I think I fucked it up. Anyway.
You literally did it. It was going fine.
Well, my thing was, isn't there like a delay between the like live and when it... Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the Pizza.
We're keeping all of that, by the way. That's staying in.
Okay, good enough. Last week, we, of course, had Darren McCarty. If you haven't seen that, you're a fucking idiot. Go watch it.
Yeah, I was going to be like, I was just about to say, like, as a joke, hey, Robert, remember the time we talked about where we stored our bread with Darren McCarty?
Real thing that happened. And if you want to see what the hell we're talking about, you have to go watch the episode. So please go watch the episode of us interviewing Darren McCarty.
Link
he's
down
the
below.
Man. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a great time, man.
It was a very great time. Yeah, D-Mac is the GOAT. And
he's the mother man.
He is indeed. He is indeed. Now, Sean, the football season for us is well over. I mean, it was definitely over for you with the Lions, but then obviously the Ravens did not help your cause. And my Buccaneers really didn't deserve to be in the playoffs, but for some reason they were. And we found out that they didn't deserve to be there. And neither did the Vikings. I guess we ain't doing the skull. So that's over.
Vikings were frauds. We knew that.
They were frauds.
Yeah.
My favorite football player in the world, Joseph Burrow, is still in though. So I am hoping that he wins the whole thing because I love me some Joe Burrow.
I've converted. I am a big Joe Burrow fan.
Yeah, that's my dude.
He honestly might be my favorite football player of all time, just from his demeanor, the way that, like, I've really enjoyed listening to his interviews with Colin Cowherd on the Volume every week. It's just been like 30 minutes of in-depth conversations with Joe Burrow every single week. And so, like, hearing about like what this guy's like I know he has this really cool demeanor and, like, you know, has this like Joe Montana like swagger. But, like, you know, is it the fact that you can see Bishop scratching in the back?
It's my favorite thing in the entire world. I love it so much.
I know, like, part of me wants to get
happy.
Like, part of me wants to get rid of that cat tree because it's an eyesore because I bought a new one. But the other part of me is like, well, I love that Bishop gets to just go back there and just get, like, he still loves it. You know,
I love that he's just in the shot. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, man. I love having the natural background, dude.
Yeah, that's lit. I love Bishop in the background. We got to make sure that even if you get a new tree, that one's got some form of a tree needs to be back there for Bishop. I'm sorry, he's the best.
Oh, he is the best. But yeah, no, I love having that. Like, as cool as the green screen was, I love like having the, you know, even though you can't see all of it, the From Half Court logo back there.
I was just gonna mention that. I absolutely love that, and I think you got some Hall of Famers on the shelf back there.
Yeah, so that is the entire going to work Pistons lineup and the bobbleheads right there. The entire championship 5 right there.
Nice.
And then next to it is the autographed Darren McCarty bobblehead.
Oh, nice. Look at you with your little shelf of stuff.
Yep. And then on my desk I have a couple things here. So on my desk I have Swackhammer, the villain from Space Jam. Which I wanted to have on the back, but my mom said, "Sean, don't do that. That would do disservice to the bobbleheads. Put this on your desk." And I said, "Okay." And then I have another little Tayshaun Prince bobblehead that I have here as well. So yeah,
nice.
man.
I've got a shitload of things on my desk here and a bunch of stuff in the background. Eventually my setup will be some type of way. But
yeah,
you know.
we could almost do an entire podcast series on the amount of things that are on your desk.
I was just gonna say, I was like, we would need a series. Because yeah, it's a whole lot. But one of my favorite things is, of course, having the OG Nerf ball, so I can just miss the hoop every fucking time my Chicago Bulls hoop over on my door.
Oh yeah, and you and I both have the benefit of, not only is this where we record, and this is our production studio, but this also both doubles as each other's offices too.
Yeah, since we both work from home, this is exactly where I work all day long.
Yep, and this is exactly where I work all day long. It's beautiful. The best. Isn't it great to know that, like, you know, one part of the day you're having a very serious, you know, like, in-depth conversation about, you know, complex things in the medical field, you know, that we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
And then we come on here and we talk about the dumbest shit we could possibly think of.
I'm going to be very frank with you, Sean. I also talk about dumb shit to all of my coworkers because I'm incapable of being a serious human
Oh,
being.
I
But
know. I know. We were coworkers before, Robert. I am very well aware of how you function. Like you're saying this to me like this is a new thing.
that's a
But
good point. It's a good point. I'm a Jesus Christ. So, anyways, so as I was kind of alluding to, though, yeah, football stopped mattering for us. Now, the thing is, Sean, is it's kind of an interesting thing, right? So, like for me, I'm excited to just watch hockey at this point. Like, are the Red Wings gonna make the playoffs? No, they're not. The Golden Knights are straight up tumbling down a hill, and it just feels like the brakes have fallen off, and so that's fun. But the thing is I just love watching hockey. So I'm like, as long as the Dallas Stars don't succeed, I'm pretty much cool with whatever. So I'm I'm cool with literally anybody but the Dallas Stars winning anything, and it is only because I hate Jamie Benn's fucking guts. And as long as he is a Dallas Star, I will forever hate that fucking team. So as soon as he's gone, and as long as they don't retire his number for some fucked up reason,
so
then
essentially,
I would be okay with them again. But
so,
until then, the stink is there.
so essentially, you're in the place of you're looking forward to tune in and watch these games, but mentally, your focus is fully on the NHL.
Pretty much. I will probably like haphazardly watch football. Like I didn't watch I think a minute of football this past weekend. Like I watched a few little like snippets of like the Bengals or whatever, but
I didn't
I
tune
didn't
into the
I didn't
entirety.
give a fuck. I'm
I
like the Bucks are out, so I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't tune into the entirety of every game this past weekend. I am going to watch the entirety of both of these games because, in
Mm,
my opinion, this is the best possible playoff scenario we could have gotten. I think,
I agree.
I think on one side you have, the Chiefs and the Bengals, where you have the two best quarterbacks alive going at
Sure.
each other. And I think you're just going to see an offensive masterclass and two guys just dueling
Yep.
against
I
each
agree.
other, and I think it's gonna be awesome. And I think on the other side, you have two of the best rosters in the NFL
Sure.
with the 49ers and the Eagles just both being these dominant defenses, these, power running games that can take over, and these, two unpredictably shifty quarterbacks, with Jalen Hurts being a freaking MVP candidate, like,
100%.
especially with that being in Philly as well, like that's gonna be nuts. So like personally, like I'll tune in at like when it's championship round on, I'm gonna watch every minute,
That's
but
fair.
like it's more so just because of the quality of football that's being played. More so, I'm with you that mentally, like, like once the Lions are out, it's like, all right, I'm far more casual at this point. But at the same time, the casual fan in me just can't not watch both of
Yeah,
these
for
games.
sure. And I think it all like comes down to how big of a fan of the sport in general you are. Like for me, obviously, I really pay attention to a handful of teams. It's mostly the Buccaneers, the Raiders, and then, on some level the Lions, and that kind of thing. And I'll pop into the occasional Minnesota game or something like that, whatever. But like, yeah, for me, it's kind of tough. I don't really care a lot for. I'm not an NFL fan so much as I am like a Buccaneers fan. Whereas with
Yeah,
hockey, it's like I'm a Golden Knights, Red Wings and stuff like that, whatever. But I'm really kind of an NHL fan where I just love hockey to a level where I'm like, it kind of doesn't matter who's playing. I just really like to watch the sport all the time.
right,
And there's very, very few people in the sport or teams that I hate. It's just for the most part, I like it all.
right.
Um, so I'm excited for that. Racing is coming up soon. I can't fucking wait for Daytona, dude. I am so itching and excited for NASCAR. Super, super stoked. The Clash will
That
be
makes
at
one
the
of us,
LA.
man.
The Clash will be at the LA Coliseum in just a couple of weeks. I can't fucking wait. They're doing it a second time where they are paving
I
the LA
can and I will
Coliseum.
wait.
But you know what? Did you see even like pictures of that last year? Like, because you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
yeah,
The fucking
yeah.
LA Coliseum
Oh,
is
yeah,
being
it
raced
looked
in.
dope. It looked really cool.
It's a strange thing that has become a reality, and I love it. They're also doing a street race in Chicago at some point. It's gonna be really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Yankees season, of course, but I kind of say all this to say, like, it's kind of a strange position. Like for me, a fan of many different teams, many of which are not obviously local and all this kind of stuff and whatever. Like I kind of have a lot of random shit that I look forward to, right? But if you're like a strictly Detroit guy, and on some level you kind of are, it's kind of bleak because it's like you could go watch the Pistons, but who the fuck wants to do that? Or you could watch the Red Wings, which is okay.
Yeah, it's like
And then you can look forward to the Tigers, who have no talent. So like
it's
you're
like
kind of
you
fucked until Lions season.
it's like you could watch the Pistons, but then, Monday night they give up 81 points in the first half to the Bucks, 49 of which in the
Good
first
lord.
quarter, and they were shooting 70% in the first half. It was it was I
Uh-huh.
have been a very, like as someone that covers the team and as someone, like is also like, from the beginning been a fan of the team, like,
Yep.
those things are always going to be inherently entwined. However, I try my best to just cover the team as professionally as I can.
Sure.
I couldn't help but be a little pissed at that one. Just a wee bit peeved, That one.
Where does this game rank on the most infamous game of our friendship, which is the day that they lost by 43 points?
So definitely not as bad as that
No, that
because
was a brutal game.
well, the difference is I still am confident in the direction we're going. I
Mm,
just, for me, I think we're in a spot right now where we have a lot of really good young players, but we need to figure out, what the difference is between, who do we have in the locker room that's really good young players? Who do
yes.
we have in the locker room that's really good Detroit Pistons? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
like we're at a point where, we're about to have some salary cap space open up. When you really look at, like what you're looking for, in the rebuild is really the foundational pieces, the core, pieces. And then after that, you can kind of surround those pieces with talent. So I think, I think for the most part, we know and we have identified, like core foundational pieces. I think the rest of this year is just about figuring out who's staying and who's going. You know what I mean? So like I think,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where, like it's not like we're going to try to get drastically better because what are you going to do? Put yourselves out of the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, right? And
Right. That'd be foolish.
also there's no move on the horizon that could just make us drastically better before the season ends. So it's just
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where like like I would say for the Tigers, it's like, yeah, it's bleak because you have no idea how far down the road they're gonna be good. It feels like they're back at square one, essentially. For the
It kind of
Pistons,
does feel that way.
for the Pistons, it's one of those things where, like it's like, yeah, that next year they're going to be a lot better. Come October, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just we have to get through these next few months. And I'm with you where like I personally like what I'm looking forward to now. It's like the part of the season where NBA is really starting to spice up because the next couple of weeks is the trade deadline. So a lot of stuff is going to come down with that. All-Star breaks coming soon. So there's the All-Star game, the dunk contest, three-point contest, all that stuff's really fun. But on
Yeah, in a
top of
lot of
that,
ways, you're kind of like me with the and like how I am with the NHL is kind of how you are with basketball.
oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I am equally as big of a fan of the league as I am a fan of the
Yeah.
Pistons because I mean, like for me growing up, like in the 2010s when the Pistons were, largely in the
Ass.
middle of the pack, like what else was I gonna watch, right? Like I
Of
grew up,
course.
I would watch, a lot of the Miami Heat and
My
like
boys.
The Golden State Warriors, the
Sure.
Boston Celtics, the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers, like
The
I would
Spurs.
watch the best of the best all around the league. So,
Yeah.
for me, like I think, yeah, like there's a lot to look forward to in that sense. It is just the thing of if you are a Detroit fan, it is
You're
just kind of
really in rough shape.
well, I mean, I don't know
Not
if
for
you're
like the future, but I'm saying for this year
I mean,
specifically.
yeah, I think it's just now that the Lion season's over, it's just now that it's we're in the limbo again. Like,
Yes.
like with the Red Wings, it's like, like again, they're kind of in a similar situation to like they're in a better situation than the Pistons, obviously, like where they're playing well. They
Yeah.
clearly are kind of in a crossroads situation too between the Larkin stuff and
Sure.
also just figuring out, the rest of their roster. And
Sure.
so, like I think It's just kind of we're on the cusp of really cool things. It's we're in the waiting room right now.
Yeah.
And we're in the waiting room currently on the big number thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on number 3 and our card says 19. So it's
Right.
like our turn's coming up really soon. It's just
It
damn, it's an
feels
awkwardly
forever.
long waiting time. You know what I mean?
It really is. It's like too long to go do something else, but not long enough. Like it's
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
it's like too long to where like you can't go get like a pop or something,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
not long enough to where like you can't just stand there and
Yeah.
feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
It's like the worst DMV ever is being a
It's
Detroit
really
sports
awkward.
fan.
You're like right in the weird part of the line. It's like, I'm just fucking stuck right here, aren't I? Yeah, and it's brutal, man, because it's like you're right, man. Like in a few years, it is going to be fun to watch Detroit sports, and like the Lions are already relatively fun to watch, but like, yeah, for this season specifically, for the
Like
year
even
of
I think
2023,
2024, I think
yeah,
2024 is going to be a freaking awesome year in Detroit sports.
yeah,
I
I
would
think
even
that it will definitely be better than this year because this year might be like the last rough,
Well,
rough year.
and I would say the second half of 2023 is
Yeah,
gonna be really good because that's when Lion season starts.
Pistons,
That's when the NBA draft and NBA free agency and trades can happen.
sure,
That's when same thing with the NHL,
sure.
for the Tigers, it's like, well, that's when the season's gonna be done. So, it's like that's closer to when they'll be off the field.
Yeah, I
I
was
I
gonna
have
say that's maybe the positive for them is that they won't be playing baseball any
Oh,
longer.
100%. The number one thing, by the date I am looking forward to the most on the Tigers calendar is
Uh-huh.
the day their season concludes. That is what I'm
Yeah,
looking
pretty
forward to
much.
this. I mean, in all seriousness, I'm just looking forward to watching Miggy's farewell tour. That's it.
That's the only reason why they're gonna sell a single
And
ticket this year. Like, it's the only
and I'm
reason.
just and listen, if you can just give me
Mm.
a half decent commentary team so that it's at least watchable, that's all I ask. Like if I
Agreed.
don't have to mute the TV so
Agreed.
that like if my eyes are going to be violated, don't make my ears have the same problem. Like that's
Dude,
what I'm saying.
I agree because it's like I've tried to tune into a couple Tigers games and I'm like, this
Holy dude.
it's like watching paint dry while hearing the paint dry somehow, and I'm like, there's nothing that has been less exciting in the universe than watching a Detroit Tigers game. And like people will
And
ask me like, "Oh,
if
how
you'll see
dare you?"
over there, there's a bird that is sitting on the railing. He is currently eating a cracker that was on the
Dude,
ground. I
it's
find that crackers that sit out in the sun have really temperature that really affects things like that. Anyway, 0 and 2 is the bitch.
dude,
Like
straight up.
hell, man.
It's so true. Like it's brutal, man. Like anyone who's just like, "Oh man, how could you not root for our Tigers?" I'm like, "How the fuck do you watch the Tigers?" And they're
Well,
like, "Well, I
because that's the
don't."
thing. If you watch their commentating team, it's
Yeah.
amazing because the purpose of the commentators is to elevate the action on the field, engage you and make you understand what you're seeing, and
Uh-huh.
to make you become a fan of
Yeah.
what you're watching, right? That's
Right,
the
of
entire
course.
job. It is quite remarkable how they could talk about batting and fielding, and they could make baseball sound like an electrician trade job and
Straight up.
absolutely straight up the most boring thing ever. Like, I'd
Like,
rather
it's
go
like a
be an accountant
calculus.
than go pursue be an MLB player. Like,
Yeah.
straight up the way they make it sound.
It's brutal, man. Like, they could have the most exciting team on the field, and then they're just, like, making you feel like this sport's not worth watching. Like, when people talk about how boring baseball is, what they're talking about is the Detroit
They
Tigers.
could be live commentating the finale in Avengers Endgame, and they would make that sound boring as
I
shit.
would
They,
fall asleep.
they would be like, and you see Thanos there trying to put on the Infinity Gauntlet. All 5 of those stones contain a lot of power. Thanos was able to take that and wipe out half of the world's population. And
Dude.
anyway, Iron Man gets the glove and snaps and retires the
Dude,
Thanos.
yeah, I feel like The thing that sucks too is like I love Kirk Gibson as much as the next guy or whatever, but like yeah, it's like he clearly just sounds like an old guy who's like barely able to speak, and I'm just like, all right, like what are we doing?
Like
But it,
he looks like he should be shopping for erection pills, not telling me what's going on in baseball.
and
Like,
what's
I'm
even
sorry, man.
And what's even worse is like in Detroit itself, we have examples of better broadcasting groups, right? Like Mickey Redmond commentating just a few years ago on the worst Red Wings team I've ever seen put on ice.
Well,
It's like the team was still unwatchable, but at least I had Mickey Redmond to
well,
occasionally say things like, "That's the best fucking power play I've seen all year," and
well,
nobody
Robert,
says anything.
What makes it 10 times worse
Uh,
is that we had a
mm,
great commentary team.
yeah,
Perhaps, perhaps the best commentary crew in the entire city, I
they
would
were
argue.
they were pretty great up
And
until
then
know.
all of a sudden, they had to fight over a chair. If these two morons
Uh,
didn't bicker over a chair,
sure.
we wouldn't have to be listening to this mess.
It's pretty fucking great. I mean, it's not great, but it's so fucking. It's so
Like,
stupid.
it's one of those
Only in
things.
Detroit. Only in Detroit.
Only in Detroit do you lose one of the best commentating crews, perhaps in the entire league of baseball, in the entire Major League Baseball.
And you know what's crazy, by the way, Sean? Like, so here's the thing. I'm a New York Yankees fan, right? But like, honestly, and this is genuinely true. What honestly hooked me immediately and compelled me to be a Yankees fan was that I watched games from a bunch of different teams that I had any interest in. That I thought, oh, these guys are kind of cool because I was trying to find my baseball team, right? And I didn't care about the history. I didn't care about all this bullshit or whatever. I just wanted to see what team did I tune into and like.
Yeah.
And when I tuned in, their broadcast is fantastic. It's knowledgeable, it's electric, it's keeping the shit moving. It's great. Their graphics team is amazing. There's podcasts like crazy with full of like
And,
entertaining, awesome guys talking about the team so I can go to work, listen to guys talk about my team, and it's just exciting.
and
And no
baseball is
other team has that.
well, in baseball,
Nobody.
well, baseball especially is so reliant now, in my opinion,
Mm,
on those types of things
mm,
because generally generationally speaking, baseball is everything working against it as to why it would be a popular sport. I mean, people's
sure.
attention spans are going down. People want, instant gratification. Baseball is
Mm,
a sport of patience, waiting, and grinding it out until the very last at bat. But I think in reality, like you said, when you have those types of broadcasts, the people that can, elevate the game, graphic packages, storylines,
yeah,
different things that bring people into the experience. Like half the time when I'm watching a baseball game, it's because I'm bored and I want to tune into something. And part of the time, there's not a whole lot going on the field. So what
sure,
you're engaged with is the conversation that's being had, and you're waiting for the pitch, you're waiting for the at bat. And
sure.
so when all you're waiting and when you're sitting there and waiting and you just hear the equivalent of paint drying or listening to a history almanac,
Yeah.
like that's the entertainment value for a major league baseball organization. Like this is supposed to be fun for families.
Yeah, it's brutal. And the thing is like there's some other teams around the league that have a good broadcast team. But what ended up fully selling it was definitely just like with the Yankees. Obviously everything's bigger in New York, so it was like the intensity of it, the like dissection of every little thing going on, the amount of people, since it's the most popular brand in the world, like the amount of people like with all of their eyes and effort on it and the podcast and this and that totally just pushed me over the edge and sold me because like there's plenty of other teams that have decent broadcast teams where I'm like, yeah, this would be fine, but like some of the teams that I was interested in as well, like the Dodgers were a little too lackadaisical. Like they seemed like they were into it, but at the same time, it was kind of like if the team won or lost, it was like, we'll get them next time. And I was like, we'll get them next time. What the fuck are you talking about?
With the Dodgers.
Basically. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And so I just really liked the intensity and like they really put you in. So yeah, and the Tigers do the literal exact
Oh,
opposite.
dude, when you're tuning into the Tigers nowadays, it quite literally feels like you're just watching like you're just watching like a documentary about a group of teenagers learning how to play baseball. It's like
basically.
it's like meet the next up and coming great players in the major
Dude,
leagues. Like that's quite literally every single broadcast.
you want to know what's crazy actually? And I really mean this. Like the West Michigan Whitecaps commentary team is fucking electric in comparison. Like I've
Yeah,
listened to the Whitecaps
it
broadcasts
really
and they're
is.
actually really, really talented.
Those guys
I'm
are
like,
phenomenal.
send those fucking guys to the Tigers because honestly, there's one guy in particular that works there. I do not know the gentleman's name, but he's fucking great. And I'm like, dude, send him to the Tigers because honestly, like, they know their shit. They're super engaging. They have good play by play. And I'm like, they might not totally sell you on the Tigers, but Jesus, they're not going to turn you away to the fucking Tigers. I
Dan
mean,
Hasty.
yes, he is fantastic. I love him.
I've,
Send him to the Tigers.
he follows me on Twitter.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, he's an awesome guy, man. And I'm just like, every time I hear him commentate, I'm like, why the fuck is this not in Detroit? I'm like, at the very least, when I tune in, I won't go, oh, Jesus, and then turn to something else. Like, come on, dude. It's terrible. Um, but yeah, it's, hang in there, Detroit. Maybe someday we'll have some fun. But Shawnee boy, I actually have something planned here, and let me copy this and paste it into the chat for you.
Oh, we can do that in just a second. But Robert,
Uh-oh. Oh
sometimes
no.
sometimes I have when do you know sometimes when I just scroll on Twitter and I just need to we just need to stop and I just need to show you what I find.
Yes.
Well, Kyle Kuzma.
Oh no.
Um
I already hate where this is going. I already hate it.
so this is Kyle Kuzma's latest pregame fit
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
and
Nope. Already don't like it. I don't
uh
even know what it looks like. Now, Sean. Now, Sean. I mean,
this man unironically spent tens of thousands of dollars on this and said, "Hold up, this shit cooks. Let me wear this into the arena and show this to the world."
Sean, now we're not gonna get into it, but when you came over for the UFC, I had some comments about Kuzma, and I think they apply. Now, Sean, I have a secondary problem with this outfit, other than the fact that it sucks ass. The second problem I have with this outfit is I recently saw a photo of Bad Bunny being at a basketball game or something like that. And like Kanye definitely started this fucking trend, and I just don't understand why when Kanye does something really fucking dumb, people
Everyone to
unironically
do it.
think, right, like even though it looks like shit, people will be like, you know what? I kind of fucks with it. Like
Or
what the
like even
like,
when that's what he was wearing when he said, "I like Hitler." You know what I
dude,
mean?
when
Like
he goes, there's lots of things that I love about it's my favorite quote. But no, like I don't understand this like mask thing because it's not like a cool one. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it just kind of makes you look fucking stupid as hell. Like it's
yeah,
I don't know.
whatever fashion trend we're on right now,
I
I
don't
don't
know what
know.
this like weird like urban hip like domestic terrorist vibe we're going for. But it's really not great. Like it looks, you know what they look like? Unironically, They look like the goons in WWE that like come over the balcony that are like mystery men to like beat the shit out of somebody like John Cena. And then next week they're revealed and you're like, oh my God, that terrorist was actually Bray Wyatt. Oh my God.
Oh my
Oh my
God, it was
God.
Rikishi.
Like out of nowhere. Yeah. You're just like, oh, okay. It's Seth Rollins, I guess. Like, sure. From NXT. Like, they look like fucking goons from WWE. Like, what are we doing?
Wait,
Uh,
wait, Rikishi didn't look that big a week ago, but okay.
I was just gonna say Rikishi fitting in one of those outfits is gonna be a little. I mean, God rest his soul. He's actually he has passed away a long time ago, but So Sean, I'm gonna put this in the group chat now. Sean, I have a bit of a game for us here today.
Uh-huh.
Something fun to spruce things up. Now, since obviously the football season is over, and so that means that my attention is going to hockey and yours is going to basketball, right?
Of course. Yep.
Sean, I would like to do a fun quiz here, and you should see the link here in a minute, and you can feel free to click that and then share it in a minute. There will
Yep.
be some ads and stuff that you can like click off too because they have a bunch of fucking pop ups, but we're gonna do Sporkle. Of those of you who know what that is, you'll be excited. If you don't know what it is, you'll get it. It makes sense. It's kind of like a quiz thing. Here we go. Now, Sean, the quiz that I have selected for you is that you are going to attempt to name.
I gotta get ad block first because this
Yeah.
is egregious.
Yeah, the ad block is horrendous, or that the ads are horrendous. I need to get my own ad block, but I don't really know like a trustworthy one. Like I'm not trying to download an ad block that immediately gives me a Trojan horse. So, there's that. Like just like, oh, let me block these ads, and then it's just like you're fucked.
You're screwed.
Yeah, just we have all of your information now. And I'd be like, oh, that's good. Cool.
We
Uh,
we have we just need the last 4 digits of your social security number to block ads.
Yeah, to block. Just to block a couple ads.
Just to block ads. Good.
That's some fucking Todd Murphy shit right there. Be like, oh, okay. Like, honey, give me my card.
Oh God, this site doesn't let you have ad block, but that's okay. We'll just deal with it.
All right, you'll be all right. So
yeah.
go ahead,
yeah,
Sean.
we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
You are going to attempt to name what is it? Stanley Cup champions since the year of our Lord 1990.
Wait, I'm sorry. You want me to try and name every Stanley Cup champion since 1990?
Yeah, so the fun part of this this quiz here is that we are going you'll get it. But yeah, and we're going to see how many that you're able to get here, Sean.
Oh God. Okay.
So you're going to go ahead and when you click that, yeah, your time has started. So you got to start now here. You got 5
crap,
minutes.
I only have 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you got to start typing in names and you got to figure out
okay.
I think at the top there, yeah, right there. So you can put in an NHL team.
Okay.
And I don't think you have to get the year correctly. I think you just have to put in the name of a team. Yeah, there you go. And then it'll autofill. So there you go.
Okay.
So the good news is that you can kind of just fucking guess. Yeah, there you go. But at the same time, you're gonna have to yeah, there you go. Look at that. You already got 8 out of 20 there. Oh, here we go. The Bruins. Oh, he changed his mind. He went with the
no, I typed it in.
Oh, and then it didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because they haven't won in fucking forever. Hurricanes. Hey, there you go, Sean.
Yeah, look at me.
Look at you. I'm first of all, I'm surprised you even know that they exist. Let's see here. The Avalanche. Oh, there he goes.
Right,
I was like, did he do it wrong? What
I guess I just gotta type in. Oh, the Oilers. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. They snuck in. All right, let's see what else we got.
Toronto,
Oh,
that's
a
they
no.
They
don't win shit. I was gonna say no.
Yep, you're right. Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. Los Angeles doesn't win. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna
You
go.
could just start trying to, even if you don't think, like you could still try like the Kings and teams like that,
Oh yeah, for sure.
just to try them. Oh,
Try the
Capitals. There
nope,
you go.
Capitals, Ovechkin sucks. Is that what I'm getting?
What?
Okay.
No, yeah, I think you might have spelled Capitals wrong because they definitely won. Capitals.
I that's what I oh, maybe they didn't win maybe they didn't win from the 90s to
They
2010.
definitely did.
Washing
Oh, yeah, try Washington.
Nope.
Try Washington Capitals?
I mean, we could try typing in as many different variations as you like. We're running down to 5 minutes, Robert.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I'm very confused because they definitely won one. Capitals.
Okay, we're just gonna move on.
What the hell?
Oh, oh, Golden Knights. No.
Yeah, well, I wish.
Yeah, I know, right? Except they weren't even a franchise that existed. I am gonna level with
Oh,
you,
wait,
Rob.
to what year is it?
2010. That's what I was
Oh!
saying.
Oh, I didn't see that. I thought it went up to this most recent year. Okay.
Yep. Let me zoom in. Is that
There
better?
you go. Yeah, because I couldn't see. I was like, wait, what?
Okay. So now,
Oh.
all right. So now, okay. So now I'm trying. All right. There's the Ducks. Yep. The
Oh,
Anaheim
shit.
Ducks.
Okay.
Yep. They won one.
Look at him.
All right. What else? There's the Senators sucks. They wouldn't win anything. The Nashville Predators aren't any good. Did the Blues win anything? No.
Not until after 2010.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Where the heck did Gretzky play? Because I feel like
He
that would
played for the
help me.
Oilers, but that was back in the 80s.
Okay, so that's not going to help.
That's not going to
So,
help you.
no, that doesn't mean anything. Well, we have a minute and a half here, and I am missing probably some pretty significant names in the
Well,
NHL
there
world.
is definitely a team on here that actually defeated the Red Wings in 1995, and I think they also won in 93, I want to say. They are a team over in the tri-state area.
Oh,
Nope. Nope.
oh,
Close. I mean, in that area, but no.
well, then, I mean, I know the
Uh,
Rangers, I know the Islanders.
uh-huh.
That's about like when we're talking about the tri-state area. That's about all my brain's giving me right now, Robert.
That's
In
brutal.
these
That's
final
brutal.
50 seconds, you are going to figure out how few NHL teams I'm going to be able to come up with.
I gotta tell you, Sean, though, 14 out of 20 is impressive to me on some level. You know what I mean? Like for a man
Some
who's
level.
I mean, for a guy who definitely like I know for a fact between 1990 and 2010, you didn't watch a fucking ounce of hockey. Like after 2010, you met friends and stuff that liked hockey and got
For
you
a
into
third
it.
of this time, I wasn't even alive. So you can that wager is pretty strong.
God damn it. But yeah, it's just like, I understand yeah, you weren't exactly watching
Oh, the
some
stars.
Hey, look at you. You got the stars.
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, we're dwindling here.
I just figured
Oh,
I'd type in the
well,
Coyotes as a
they're
meme.
fucking horrendous. Oh
Uh-huh.
no.
Yeah,
Now let's
I
see
got
what you
nothing.
missed.
Oh, the
Now,
Devils. Yeah,
yes,
oh yeah, and the Lightning. Duh. I
of
just I
course, and
just
the Canadiens.
oh yeah, the Canadians.
Yeah,
I just thought I remembered that teams in Canada hadn't won in a long
been a
time.
very long time since '93, in fact.
And I thought it was before the 90s. So
Yeah.
that's where I done diddly screwed up. But
Hey, but you
at
know
the
what? 15 out of 20 is insanely impressive to me.
well, hey, I'll take that.
I gotta tell you, it's a
Now,
lot better than I thought you were gonna do. Now, Sean, let me go ahead and how do I share my screen? Hold on.
so
Is
you
it
go down to
present?
present.
Share screen? Or
Yep,
okay.
you're doing great.
Listen, I'm like a 90-year-old man, all right? Fuck you,
You're
Sean.
doing. I am well aware. I have tried to show you how to do stuff with tech before, and you're like one of those dads where it's like where you look at your phone and you're like,
It's fucking brutal. All right, how does this look on screen? Do I need to zoom in at all?
no, that looks great.
Looks good.
Oh,
Okay.
this is every NBA champion since 1990. Oh shoot.
All the way up to 2018. So now I get a bit of taste of my own medicine here as I have to try to name. And I
Oh,
have even worse because I have 29. So
you have 8 minutes too.
I do, but that's because I have 9 more teams because yours was 20, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So since
All
2018.
right.
So here we go.
There
Oh
we
dear
go.
God. All right, the Celtics. Okay, perfect. The
There you go.
Warriors. Perfect. The Heat.
Solid.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yep. Look at you.
Uh, the Mavericks. Is that how you spell it?
Mav.
Mav. How the fuck do you spell Mavericks? Dallas? Son of a bitch. All right.
Just like Dallas.
I did Dallas. Didn't work. Eh.
Oh.
All right. Well, we'll try. The Pistons. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
I was gonna say, if you forgot
Yep.
that one, I was gonna be concerned for your overall well-being.
What is that team called? The Rockets. Yep, there we go.
What is that team called?
The Timberwolves, maybe? Wolves? No, they suck. Oh, that's Utah is Utah, and nothing good ever comes out of Utah. Oh,
Yeah,
hold on.
Oh, there you
Damn,
go.
fucking Spurs. Holy shit, they have a lot of championships.
You didn't know about the Spurs, Tim Duncan?
I don't know shit about shit. The Wizards. Nope. Okay. The Magics.
Magics.
The Super
The Orlando Magics.
Sonics. The hash slinging.
The hash.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There we
go.
go.
There
Okay.
you go.
The Clippers, maybe? No. Okay. All right. Clippers are terrible. Hey, you know what? The Lakers, though. Look at them fucking Lakes,
All right,
huh?
so
I'm missing 2.
Pause. Now look at the 2 years that they're all right. There you
go. Hey, there we go. I got Dallas. 2016. Shit. What are they called?
In my defense, the NHL, there were a lot more teams that won championships, whereas here there were a lot of dynasties that had back-to-backs.
You're 100% correct. And this is if I can remember what the fuck they are called. Oh, the Cavaliers. Yeah.
Look at you.
Let's
You are practically an NBA savant.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, so now to chat and so now to put you in your place.
Okay,
here's what we'll do. I'm gonna find a random NBA quiz for you to take that you did not prepare for.
I didn't prepare for that one. I almost forgot the Chicago Bulls.
Well, the difference is you're not gonna know. You're not.
Oh, I'm gonna be really chalked. If it's like MVPs or something, I am fucked.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna send this to you in the chat, and I want you to share this to your screen. You should see that come through here any second.
I see it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I gotta tell you, brother. Oh no. Okay. Let's see here. Now.
Oh yeah, so I'll go ahead and add it to the screen.
Scrolling? Oh,
so this is you have to pick Derrick Rose's 5 teams by picking the logo. So click play quiz.
Here we go. The Bulls. The Pistons. Oh wait, do I have to? Oh, okay. The Knicks. No. He went to the Timberwolves. Yep. Oh, Cleveland. Fuck. I almost said Cleveland.
Hey, you did good. You did good. I just wanted to watch you. I just wanted to watch you squirm there. You did good.
I did good. I knew the Bulls, Pistons, and Knicks because I've seen him play for those teams. The other 2, I knew I was chalked. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh man. That's some good
that was
shit.
Fun though, man. I like
that was a lot of fun. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, Sporkle's a great website, man. They have a lot of like cool little like quizzes and shit like that.
Oh, we should we in the future we should find like more like Sporkle quizzes and stuff to like
100%
to do and like have like random ones like about like different stuff. Now,
dude,
Robert,
they're great.
Now Robert, you and I have had this idea that we've been throwing around for a while, and I think maybe next pod we're gonna have to finally do it.
Okay.
I need to do a playthrough of Skyrim
You do.
where I've never played Skyrim, and
Not really,
I want
yes.
yeah, not I've played the first 3 hours, but I've never beaten the game.
You've never like
So
really given it an actual shot and like really played it because the first three
yeah,
hours is basically nothing.
yeah. So you and I talked about, well, what if I was required to play through Skyrim at least a few hours a week and
Yes.
come on the pod, and there was a segment where and after each session I journal what I did and what
Hmm.
happened, and I come back to the pod and report my findings.
Yes.
And I think what we'll have to do, I have the equipment and everything that I need to do it now that I've
Okay.
moved and everything.
Hmm.
Next week, what I think we should do to end the pod is we
Mm.
should go through together and create my Skyrim character on the podcast together.
I love it. Let's do it. And then we should also definitely have you stream Skyrim a couple of times. That'd be fun.
Oh,
And we'll
100%.
have to hop on for some of
100%.
that bullshit. Yeah, I'll definitely that I'm game for that too. So,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah.
no, I think that sounds awesome. We should definitely make that happen. And for context here, I recently platinumed Skyrim, and I've been going through in
How
100
how many times have you played through it now, Robert?
a lot because I've played. Well, and this is the first time I've played it. No, that's not true. I was gonna say this was the first time that I played it on PlayStation, but that's not true. I just never cared enough to go for the platinum before. But recently on PS5, I finally actually was like, oh, you know what? I've never actually like completed the platinum, so I finally did that. But I've played it,
And
three.
that's a feat. That is a tall task to get the Skyrim plat.
Yeah, I got that, and then I'm also working on 100%ing the DLC so that I have every trophy in every single aspect of Skyrim. And I'm actually pretty close because I'm at like 85%, I think, on the last two because I have one of the DLC 100%ed, so I need the other two.
And mind you, this
Um,
was after you did your full playthrough on the Xbox Series X as
yeah,
well.
yeah, because when I got the Xbox, I also played through it on there. I think I have every achievement, but I'll have to look. I might not. And
That
I
is
don't know if I care enough
insane,
to do it
man.
again. But yeah, I've played me a lot of Skyrim, so
So safe
um,
to say when the next so safe to say when the next Elder Scrolls game comes out, I'll never see you again.
pretty much, yeah. In 2035, when that game finally releases, then yeah, I'm pretty much chalked.
Are
So
where's your hype at for Starfield?
Uh, cautious because I don't actually believe it's going to release when they say it's going to release. I don't know when it's going to, but I feel like the problem that I've had with that game as well as many others, launch windows and dates, I feel like a lot of them have been very sketchy, and so I'm just kind of like
Yeah,
I'm not
COVID's
allowing
made
myself to get excited until the game is released.
I
I've been
think this
bitten way too many times by that.
I think over the last couple of years, I think this last year especially, I think was when we saw the effect of COVID on the
Yeah.
game industry,
Yeah.
just because there was so much that was coming out around 2020, 2021, but then it was like, "Oh, well, why are there no games coming out?" It's like, "Oh yeah, because the entire games industry paused for like 6 months so I could transition to going work from home."
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
and the thing is like even back in the day, like pre-COVID and all that kind of stuff, like back when like even kind of the 360 era, but definitely like the early like Xbox and PlayStation 4. Like the thing is that I had too many instances where I'd get excited for a game and then it gets delayed or canceled outright, and I was just like,
I feel like
I don't
Bethesda
really allow
though
myself. I do not allow myself to get excited about games anymore
I feel like
until they're released.
I feel like Todd Howard, though, I feel like he's the type of guy that, like, if he gives a release date on something, it's generally pretty stand-packed. Like, of late, like, when he's announced release date, like, I can't remember a delay from Bethesda.
I feel like I'd have to go back, but I swear there was, but maybe I'm completely off base. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I listen. I think the game looks cool. I've also kind of really built myself to be kind of the type of person, and you know this very well about me, where I hate trailers. I fucking hate trailers. I hate previews. I hate all that kind of bullshit. Like, I don't like all that fucking nonsense. I don't want to know shit. I just like to go into things and just like experience stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of that,
Or you like to play through Skyrim 27 times.
that's right. Or I'll just skip all new games and only Skyrim. And I think it's just because like it comes from a little bit like movies, like when you'd see the good parts like during the trailer, and then you'd go see the movie, and it's just kind of like weird, and it was just like yeah. So a lot of that kind of shit, I've become very anti trailers and stuff, and
Yeah.
I feel like trailers, you'll see a vertical slice of something, and it looks really cool, and your brain will like form what you think the game is, and then you play it, and it's very much not that thing. Whereas when you go in without expectation, the game seems a lot better because you haven't already preconceived what it is.
Right.
So because I feel like that definitely was a huge issue with like Watch Dogs. Like I already had a preconceived idea of what I thought it was going to be, and then when it showed up, it was not that thing. But I will stand by that. I actually think Watch Dogs 2, other than the extremely cringe acting and dialogue and all that bullshit in the story, the gameplay itself is fucking fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that game, but
I
god
couldn't get
damn
past
is
the
it
cringe.
cringe.
I
It's
couldn't.
painful cringe.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got past the painful cringe and just started skipping cutscenes, which I normally do anyway,
It's
it was
quite
fine.
it's quite remarkable for how many studios in the gaming world have shown like what good writing is and how to how to adequately make a good story.
Yeah.
How many studios still are
Horrendous.
making games making game
Forsaken.
stories like they were in 2006? Yeah,
Yeah.
like like it's just like all of these games for whatever reason it's like yeah, we're just going to hire the writers that wrote the story to Rugrats Go to Paris the video game, you know? It's
You
like
know,
that's
it's
the quality we're going for.
we're gonna get into that a little bit in a second here, before we wrap up here. But like, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of that maniac, and I think you also know this pretty well about me, that I generally speaking skip all cutscenes and dialogue. Don't give a fuck. I am just there. I am there for the satisfying gameplay loops, and you can keep your fucking mouth shut. There's very few games where I actually cared about the dialogue and the story enough to where I like really fell in love. One of those being still to this day, I think maybe my favorite story that still sticks with me is probably Grand Theft Auto 4. I still think Grand Theft Auto 4 has the greatest, and I really fucking love that game. But yeah, many games, including Skyrim, I'm just like, yeah, get to the end, and now I'm gonna hit you with my sword. Like 100%. Um, I mean, there's
Pure
some fun
maniac.
missions that yeah, I'm that fucking guy. You know what would really break your heart, which would be the funniest thing in the world, is if I played God of War and skipped all the cutscenes.
It would it
Oh,
would quite literally
mm.
take away from everything that makes that game what it is,
Could you imagine playing The Last of Us, like the original one,
and just
without
skipping the
skipping the
cutscenes.
cutscenes?
Yeah, I didn't get this for the story. Come on, let's go. I just
Like,
want
because the gameplay in the first game is straight up awful.
well,
Like,
you
it's
know, there's
barely a
people out
game.
there that did that too,
Oh,
which
there
like
definitely is. And those
which
people
like
hated the game because the game itself is like terrible, but the story is good. But like
well,
in the
okay.
second game, the gameplay is fan fucking tastic. The gameplay in the second one is fantastic. The first one, it's like barely a game, but it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I that's why I wanna go back and play The Last of Us Part 1 because it's a full, remake from the ground up with
Mm.
Last of Us Part Two's gameplay.
I
So,
forgot about that. Oh
yeah,
shit. I need to
yeah,
get that because yeah, the original playthrough I did, like I loved the game, but I was just like, yeah, the gameplay was a little like sure.
yeah, so
I really
I
need to
yeah, and
yeah.
also with how amazing the show's been too,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it makes me wanna play through the game again even more, which, by the way, Robert, the show,
Yeah.
it's gonna win so many awards, it's insane.
I know I need to get around to that. I forgot all about that fucking remake. Holy shit. Yeah.
And I won't spoil anything, but, like, the thing about the show that's so cool is they the way that they're going about it is that it's not a, like, either you play the game or you watch the show. It's a companion. So it's like it doesn't ch like, it will there are new elements that they add to the story, but
Mm,
the elements they add, like, feel like they've been there from the beginning.
gotcha.
So, like, for example, like, in the game, that intro with Sarah, like, the beginning is, like, only, like, 15 minutes.
Right.
It's almost like a 40-minute sequence in the show. They add a ton of different stuff to that and, like, characters like character elements and different like story pieces and like things that things that they couldn't really expand upon in a game because at a
Yeah.
certain point you have to play a game.
Right.
It's dude, I
That's
mean like
awesome.
because like especially watching Chernobyl and
Yeah.
like going
I
through and
told
seeing
you.
that and seeing the elements of Chernobyl that he added into this. Oh,
Dude,
like, there are things I wish I could rave to you about right now. Like, just go watch it, and, like, I'm excited to talk to you about it.
yeah, I'm definitely planning on doing that sometime soon. It's definitely on my list, and, yeah, there's a bunch of other, shit that I've been wanting to get to, but, yeah, you know what? It's funny, though, I have seen a lot of this stuff online recently, all of the discourse about, what is it called? What is it called?
Yeah, Forspoken.
Forspoken, is that it? Okay.
Yeah, Forspoken or Forsaken or something.
Whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
is.
Forspoken.
Okay, Forspoken, because, like, it's funny, a lot of people have been saying, like, "Oh, you guys think this is cringe, but you thought that High on Life was okay," and I'm like, I remember a lot, and I mean a lot of people saying that they thought High on Life was cringe or, like, didn't like so I'm like, "What are you talking?" Like, I mean, I played through the game and I enjoyed it. I definitely thought there were points of it where I was like, "Alright, that's
I
enough."
never played High on Life, so I'm not really sure. But like, I mean, all I know is quite literally every single review I've heard said that the gameplay's bad, the story's bad. Like, it's not even just like it's like to me, this was I always kind of saw this game from day one because I remember this was like initially, if I remember correctly, this was a game that was shown as a tech demo and it was just like project something and then it was given a name and it was eventually released. Like to me, I always kind of viewed this game as like a tech demo, and they
Sure.
never really seemed to like actually really care about like the story. It always seemed like this was like one of those games that was supposed to showcase what next gen hardware can do, you know?
Well, and I also didn't know this thing existed at all until I started seeing the memes on the internet, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I straight up had no idea this
Well,
game
yeah, like
existed.
I remember seeing the trailers from this. Like again, this was just shown off originally in like the PS5 reveal as like a tech demo, and
Mhm,
it was like a given like a project name, and
mhm.
like now, like yeah, now like apparently this is the game, and like no one
Well,
likes it.
okay then. Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
it's weird though. I just saw a lot of like comparisons, like people being like, "Oh, you just don't like it because it's like a girl or whatever." I'm like, that's not it. Also, there was people who fucking hated High on Life, so I'm like, I don't know where this narrative suddenly came from that everyone liked that and not this. But the thing of it is too, like, um, yeah, I and everything I've heard is that the gameplay is terrible, and obviously we've seen many clips that are fucking horrendous. But the thing with High on Life is if you're not a fan of Justin Roiland's comedy, then you're immediately out. But if you like his comedy, it was great for that part. I will say the gameplay felt really fucking basic. It felt really beginner
well, yeah,
and all
I
that kind of
also
stuff. Which now that game is never gonna get a sequel. That game is fucked.
yeah, well now there's the whole other thing of just Justin Roiland being a terrible human being and everything
I
that's
was
come
just
out
gonna
about. Like
transition
I have no desire to play that game now.
I was just gonna bring that up is that I'm like, as I'm talking about this, of course, I'm leaving out the very obvious thing of like nobody's really fucking with him at this point. Cause here's the thing, right? We originally learned that he had some sort of domestic dispute, or violence or something back, I think in 2019, 2018, somewhere in there. Years ago and stuff like that. Not that that makes it okay, but I'm just saying it was from like years ago and it just became public and stuff like that. And we didn't really have any details. And it was a little bit like, what's going on? No one was really sure and no one was really bringing stuff up. And then we got a bunch of DMs leaked of him basically grooming a 16-year-old girl. And I went,
Yeah, yeah.
well, because I was like the domestic thing or whatever. I'm like, again, not that I like condone that, but I'm just like, we didn't have any details. There was no like, I, I still don't even know what actually happened. Like nobody has detailed like what happened, if it's even true, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
But
now
then when actual DMs leak where you can actually see it's him and it's like, well, now not only do I believe this, but now I also believe he definitely did the domestic thing. And now I'm like, okay,
well,
you know what I
now
mean?
well, I'm not sure if you saw,
Oh, that he's out of Rick and Morty,
yes.
which is insane to me for a few things. So I think he deserves it. Like if he truly was, beating up his wife and also hitting on 16-year-olds, fuck him. Which it seems very much that he did both of those things. So fuck him. But the thing of it is that my opinion is cancel the show. Like, you know what I mean? Because like
Well, it's just not gonna happen.
well, my thing is like Rick and Morty is only great because of him. It really is. Like the writing is okay or whatever, but like the reason why Rick and Morty works is because of Justin Roiland's style of comedy. That is the only reason it works. Is because he's pretty much improving a lot of it. The way he delivers it, he brings literally the voice and the life to Rick and Morty as characters. And I feel like everyone knows it as being his project. And so I feel like going on, it just feels fucking weird. It's like if you were a fan of the show, I don't know that you're gonna continue
But,
liking the
like,
show at all. And
I mean,
also,
but,
if you
like, is
weren't
it,
a
like
fan, are you gonna become one? I
I
doubt
mean
it.
but, like, does it take much of, like, a conspiracy theory to say, like, why the show is continuing to go on? Like, it's a massive moneymaker. Like, they're not just gonna, like, just because of, like, stupid things that Justin Roiland did, like, they're gonna, like, it's not like, Adult Swim is gonna, like, take their, like, by far their biggest cash cow because it is, because of the fact that, it is an insanely big, you know,
No, I
machine at this point, and I just,
yeah,
like, I'd imagine over the next couple of years, it's probably gonna get canceled. It's the quality of the show is probably gonna,
it's gonna
you know
fucking tank.
yeah, it's probably gonna decline significantly more than likely, but I mean, dude, honestly, none of that stuff really matters. The ultimate thing really is Justin Roiland's a garbage person, and this whole
No,
thing just really sucks, and,
yeah,
like, I mean, it is crazy, like, I just, stumbled like, I didn't even realize that was, that just happened, like, I just
yeah.
like, that I literally just stumbled across the fact that he's no longer on Rick and Morty, but I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just yeah, I mean,
I
the fact that they are going along with it is crazy, but at the same time, it's like, are we really shocked? Like,
I
it's
mean,
it's
here's the
it's
thing.
capitalism, dude.
No, I get that, but here's the problem is that even with that statement, the problem is that like what made it great is gone. Like the thing that made it a cash cow, the thing that made it what it is gone, which means it's basically just fucked. Like imagine replacing the voice actors in like SpongeBob. This is even worse in some ways than that because it's like all of a sudden it's just like the personalities are wrong. All the people who liked it are like, what the fuck is this? Like it's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
not it. It's
I think
just
yeah,
not it.
I just think that's, like, the last part of it that's the tragedy. It's like, yeah, that sucks, and it is going to be not it, and it is, like, he was, like, one of the writers. He was, like, he was, from the seams of it, he was the creative vision of it, so obviously it sucks that they're losing that, and it is gonna be not the same. It is just a thing of, like, that just I don't know, it's just right now that just doesn't really feel like it matters.
No, I
Like,
I know what you're saying. Like obviously it's about the like his wife or ex-girlfriend or whatever the fuck. And then like obviously whoever the 16-year-old is and however many other victims are and stuff like that. Obviously it's about them, obviously. And it's also about holding him accountable, obviously. Obviously. I'm just saying, like, from the content perspective or whatever, I'm just saying, like, that it's just an odd decision where I'm like, it's just kind of weird to keep this thing alive in any capacity because it's just gonna be fucking garbage. And it's also kind of a weird thing because it to me it leaves the door open. You know what I mean? Like it kind of leaves the door open of like, oh well, at some point he could always come back. You know what I mean? And his
yeah,
baby
well,
will still be there. So like I think that kind of goes hand in hand with what you're trying to say. I feel like by keeping it going is almost just like a, well, we'll just
yeah.
kind of see. You
It's
know what I
I
mean?
think
Like we'll see how the wind blows.
I just think the whole thing's messy, man. I just think
Yeah.
everything about it's sticky, and there's not because again, there is, like, so much that's, like, confirmed, so much that's
Mm,
allegations, but at the same
mm.
time, it is the thing of, like, the thing that, again, it is the fact of, all right, well, I mean, even just, like, the tone of the allegations and what that is gonna be associated with now, I think to me, the weird decision of them continuing to go on isn't the fact that, Justin Roiland isn't gonna be there, so the creative vision and, like, it's gonna lose, like, its soul in that sense. I think the weird decision to keep it going is the fact that, okay, well, now whenever people look up Rick and Morty, they're gonna see this as part of it. Like, this is gonna
Well, that's
come
what I'm
up.
saying. Yeah,
You know,
that's kind of
that to me is the real thing. Like, I don't think it's the content piece of it gonna be the shell of itself. Like, yeah, like, obviously, we're gonna notice that. I think it's more so the fact that they're just gonna have this super awkward thing associated around this brand forever, and no matter how hard they try, and even if it is great, I don't think it's gonna succeed in the long run just because of that. right?
Well, and that's kind of what my point was a little bit too, is that it's just like, so you have now this guy who, like I said, was, the soul of the show. You find out he's a terrible guy. Do you really want to like support the show? Like, even with him gone, it's like, okay, cool,
Right.
he's gone, but it's like, well, do you want to support what it used to be his now all of a sudden? Like, I don't
Right, and even
fucking
then,
think
like, even though
so.
he's
Why
gone,
would you
doesn't
do
he
that?
like, and even then is even if he's gone from the show, doesn't he still get royalties? Doesn't he
You would think
still, like,
so.
financially benefit
You would
from
think so.
merchandising from the company? Like, isn't Rick and Morty just more than a show? Isn't this like a massive, like, like, corporation at this point? Like, you know what I
It's
mean?
hard to say. Yeah, I don't know what all the, like, ownership breaks down to and stuff like that, but I would imagine. So, yeah, the whole thing seems really strange from that way. And it actually leads me into one of the games that I'm actually the most excited about, actually, as much as I despise their fan base because they're just toxic levels of cringe, is I cannot fucking wait for the new Harry Potter game. I really can't. I'm so excited. Like, I really, really, really want to play it. I'm super stoked. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And like, I loved the old PlayStation 2 ones and stuff. It's one of those things where there's so many fucking double-edged swords with Harry Potter, right? Because the fan base is just hilariously cringe. There's
Well,
the
and also
only thing as cringe as a Harry Potter fan is a Disney adult. But
well, and
like
the
the
only
thing
thing that
is
well,
also you have their creator who's also like a total
he's
turf.
way more cringe than a Harry Potter fan. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean she's got her whole like fucking she's got like Joe Rogan brain or some shit. Like she's all sorts of chalked. So like
She's just straight homophobic and transphobic, like, just
yeah,
straight
it's
up. Yeah.
not good. So like that whole thing is obviously pretty fucked as well. It's like
Well,
the
like, do we know, like, I mean, like, I know, like, the developer, I mean, like, my question is more so, like, I'm wondering about the quality of the game. I'm wondering what we're getting here from that standpoint,
I think it
just because,
yeah,
like, I mean, like, it does seem like they put a lot of money and resources into this, but, like, this is from the like, I mean, if we look at the developer and,
sure.
like, what they've worked on before, like, the
Mhm.
biggest game they've worked on is Disney Infinity. So it's just one of
Right.
those things where it's like, I like, if this is everything that that they've been, like, proclaiming it to be and, like, pouring into it, it is, like, one of those things where, like, catch 22, it feels morally and, like, all that, like, I'm sure there's some people that might feel icky, but at the same time, it is, like, the thing where it's like, if you separate the art from the artist, it is the thing where this game could be absolutely huge, but at the
Which
same
I do
time
every single time because my problem is like I understand like a lot of the issues and stuff like that. And if you're in the affected communities, I understand it's probably worse. But like the thing for me personally is that we are finding more and more and more and more that pretty much every single person who makes cool shit, whether it be YouTube content, movies, music, it doesn't matter what it is, they're probably a piece of shit. Like basically everybody sucks. And so my thing is, I'm like, if you just stop watching movies or music or games or this or that from creators who suck, then you're pretty much not going to watch anything. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, I still love Michael Jackson, even though yikes, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, it's, I always separate the art from the artist because of,
Yeah, I
like I
mean,
said,
you
otherwise
have to
you're
find a
fucked. You're
yeah, you have to
totally
fi
fucked.
yeah, you have to find a way to at a certain point, but it's like, again, for me, it's like, I know, like, people like, I know a lot of people are, like, having, like, that conversation, like, going into it, and I know this game looks cool. I'm just
Mm.
more so weirded out by how little we actually know about the game itself going into it, because like, there's,
Yeah.
like, for how big and expansive of a game and experience this is supposed to be, they really haven't shown much.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I'm excited to see what it is. If it ends up not being very good, I'll be like, well, that sucks, and then just kind of move on, like because I'm not that into like the fan base, or whatever.
Right.
But I just feel like from the idea of it, because I just like the idea of the world where it's
Oh,
like,
for
oh,
sure.
cool, you get sorted into a house, and then you have to like do all this fun shit. Like it's just got like a fun concept
Oh,
in
yeah,
general.
absolutely.
So from that standpoint, I'm super hyped about it. But yeah, it's one of those deals where I'm just like, do I like her? No. Do I like their fans? No. Do if the game is terrible, will it break my heart? Not really.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, I'm excited about it. It's definitely the one that I've been looking the most forward to, just because I'm like, that would be really interesting and cool to see done properly.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that this is it. If it's not, then it kind of is what it
Yeah,
is.
and I mean, because it's like because if this is what this does seem like the evolution of like what like properties turned into games should be, right? Like,
Yeah.
like ones that have like, deep development, development periods that, aren't just, ripped from movies, like they were back in the day, like where every movie got a video game release,
And they
like
just
it's like,
copied the movie frame by frame, basically.
yep,
I like it
exactly.
better when they do it like this too, like where it's
Yeah,
the concept of the world, not
right.
literally the film.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like if this
Spider-Man.
right. If
Yeah.
so yeah, if they don't make this work, then it'll never work.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's super well said. And there's plenty of series like this, but yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm nonetheless, I whether it's good or not, I know one thing for sure. There's probably gonna be a lot of memes that come from it, and I'm looking forward to that aspect of it.
there's definitely going to be that, and there's definitely, well, and there already kind of is a lot of people like on both sides just that are foaming at the mouth to turn it into a culture war thing. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to know, is the game fun to play or not? I don't fucking care. Like, you know
Again,
what I mean?
I'm
I'm
just here
like,
for the memes.
yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I just want to be a wizard and do wizard shit. And if it doesn't do that, then I'm back to Skyrim.
You're just gonna be back in Skyrim no matter what.
Exactly. I'll be like, oh, it's fun being a wizard for like a week, and then I'll be like, wow. But all right, Sean, it has been a blast, my friend. If you're a Detroit sports fan out there, hang in there for another 5, 10, 20 years, and maybe, just maybe, if you're still around, you'll see something good.
It won't be that long, man. Yeah,
I
I'm
know, I'm just
telling you.
being an ass.
I know. But
Anyways, folks, it's been real. I think the Wings play tonight, so go Wings and all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, please watch our Darren McCarty interview. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool to chat with one of my heroes. And yeah, keep watching our bullshit. And if you liked the end part of this, this is going to become a lot more regular. We know we've primarily done a lot of sports on this channel. There's some changes on the way, and we're really excited to show them to you, and really excited to kind of move into some different topics and things like that. So stick with us, boys. And, as always, Pizza Nation, let's ride.
ow!